Hello and welcome everyone. Welcome to OPN's Dev Talks, where we get a chance to sit down with developers and get a chance to see gaming from their eyes. For all our newcomers today, we are overpowered noobs. We work to provide a platform for gamers and industry professionals to open dialogues about important topics in PC gaming. Check us out at OPNoobs.com. Now, today joining us from Muifwego, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, is Andrew Benson, Rafi, and Keiji Kimura. I might have said that wrong. I apologize. To talk about their new game, Don't Bite Me, Bro. Now, Don't Bite Me, Bro is a asymmetrical multiplayer game. Players are tasked with exploring and escaping monster-infested town. In an attempt to thwart their escape, a randomly chosen player will control the zombies themselves, spawning and hurting enemies across the terrain. I'm your host, D2 Games, and let's get started. I want to say, guys, thank you for joining us here today. We appreciate you guys coming out on the show. I think it's great. Absolutely. And before we really dive into what it means about your game, how about you tell us a little bit about yourselves and how you guys ended up getting into the industry and eventually teaming up and making a video game?
So I guess I'll take the reins here. So we actually all go to school together. We go to Parsons, the new school for design. And we're in their game design program, and that's kind of how we met up. And this game originally started as a game called The Herd, where it was a class project that we started in November of last year, so 2015. And, it started as a game jam, so we worked on it for a weekend, and then we just continued with it. So that's how we got together. We know each other from school.
Now, is that like, did you guys like always wanted to get into gaming, or is this something you guys ended up doing later in life? Did I come through on that one?
I think Rafi's a little muted.
He's muted.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Hello?
Sorry. Hey, how you doing, buddy?
Gotcha.
Yes. Yeah, so I've always wanted to do games. When I was young, like sixth grade, there was this thing called RPG 2K Maker.
Yeah.
And yeah, and on dial-up, I had to take like a whole night to download these 11 megabytes just like for this pack. And yeah, so I was making games then, and then I stopped and started doing music. And then when I got back into school, I went strictly to make games.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
For me, I was actually trying to do pre-med, so I was at Binghamton University, and I always considered myself to be a gamer, but I just kind of like took a leap of faith and transferred to Manhattan and Parsons and just dived right in. So it was kind of a risk, but I love it now and I'm just enjoying it. So it's a good energy, I think, and I'm happy to have classmates like Rafi and Andrew, for sure. We're pretty proud of this project, so hope you guys like it.
No, I think it's awesome that you guys met in school. Now, did you guys meet like doing a project together, or did you guys just kind of like become friends? I guess my biggest question is, how is it like working together? I'm sure each of you have like your own game idea, or is this something you guys kind of came up all together at once, like working as a team?
Well, yeah, this project actually started, we were given a very specific prompt as a final one semester, and the prompt was make an asymmetrical multiplayer game. So that's how this started out. We were actually assigned to be in the same group together. So it wasn't even a very, we didn't like go, hey, let's make this game together. We were just like, all right, we're stuck together. Not that we didn't want to work with each other, we all knew each other, we were friends. Then yeah, as it went, we just like realized we had a cool idea here. People seemed into it, so we rolled with it.
That's awesome. Now, for people watching, what exactly is an asymmetrical game? Like, how would you explain that to somebody?
You want to take that, Rafi?
Yeah, well, the game started asymmetrically. That was like the assignment, but it has since changed direction a bit. But what an asymmetrical game is basically that the players aren't taking the same role.
Mm-hmm.
So, like a few survivors versus the zombies or something like that. Yeah.
And go ahead.
So the game's actually now, it's less asymmetrical than it used to be, and this was definitely a more recent change that we've come up with through playtesting. So now, instead of having one person actually control the zombies, that zombie aspect only comes in if a player dies out in the world, and then they become a zombie. So when they're a zombie now, we like the idea of all the players working together always, even if they're dead. So when you're a zombie, it's more like you're turning into a zombie. So you kind of have this urge to fight the other players. So you can still go out, kill other zombies. You can't really collect resources, but you want to protect your players, your co-survivors. But the closer you get to them, the harder it is to control your character because you're turning, and that urge to kind of eat their brains is kind of supposed to be taking over there.
Got you. Now, I take it that you guys have probably played some like older games like Zombie Ate My Neighbors, and I didn't know if that was some type of inspiration for this game, or did it just evolve into the zombie theme?
So I don't even think we had a lot of inspiration from any zombie games when it came to this.
Yeah. Well,
One of our biggest... Yeah, go for it.
Yeah. Well, the original idea was to have like zombies that are controlled by sound. So the original, like at the start, was the zombie player played on an iPad, and you would like ring sounds like a church bell or like a car alarm to kind of control the herd as it went.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So since then we were thinking zombies, yeah, because of the mindless nature and like just blindly follow sounds.
Mm-hmm.
We took a lot more inspiration, especially with that original incarnation, from like tower defense games and real-time strategy games. We wanted it to be kind of two different experiences: as people playing the survival multiplayer game, and then someone else on this iPad playing a tower defense game. But since then, we've drawn more inspiration from actually games like Clash of Clans, where it's kind of like world building, and you're building your little army, so to speak.
Now, what was the decision to go like the Minecraft cube art? Was that something that was intended, or did you guys kind of come with that down the road, or how did that work out?
Well, the voxel kind of art direction, I think, came because we wanted to avoid having lag issues while there was a huge herd of zombies. So we wanted to get as much zombies in there as possible. So that's why we went as low as we could.
Yeah,
I think we also wanted it to be accessible and something that was kind of arcade style in our first incarnation, and we thought the block style was something that was easy to relate to, and there was a lot of precedence for it, so we went with that.
Yeah, but clearly you see that Minecraft resemblance. We are trying to pull away from that in a way, so we're going to make the animations for the characters and everyone a lot more fluid, a lot more human-like than just robot movements, almost like Lego Movie style.
Yeah.
Right. Well, I think it's interesting, or maybe you agree with me on this, but when you have those type of animations and graphics, it kind of, I see the blood, there's blood and stuff in it, but it's the way it's done is that it allows people from all age groups to play. Was that like the intent as well?
Yeah, that was definitely intent. Yeah.
Oh, outstanding. Now, I'm actually interested. Now, there's it's just you three guys working on this project, correct?
Yep.
Correct.
Now, does all of you do the same thing, work together? Do you guys kind of specialize in individual roles?
So we definitely have our roles. A lot of all the brainstorming, all the design. It's all us. We had a meeting right before this where we just met for an hour and a half, and we were talking about what comes next. Rafi, you want to break it down?
Yeah. So the art direction and like concept art, and also the AI programming and all that is all by Andrew. Keiji does a lot of the effects and visual effects there, a lot of which are in the video right now. Mm-hmm. But yeah, he does the environmental models, and I do the characters, the animations, the system, the programming system, everything else pretty much.
Yeah, but we overlap. We're always talking, making sure we're all on the same page.
And how is that like working in a team? Is it just I know that when I'm talking to other developers, it's always something that they have to get used to right away. But you guys sound like you're like best friends. Has it just been easy for you guys since the beginning?
Yeah,
it's always been easy. Yeah,
we kind of just meshed real quick.
Yeah,
that's awesome. Now, when you're picking different characters, I know a lot of people are seeing this for the first time. There's different stats for each character, correct?
Yeah.
And how about a little bit explanation behind that? Like, why do each characters have different stats, and why you decided to go more of like almost like an RPG route towards it?
Go ahead.
So the characters are simple, right? They look. The difference in the characters is how they look and how they play. But the controls are really simple. You use one joystick to move, one joystick to aim or look around, and then you use one button to attack, no matter who the character is. So we have to kind of differentiate between the characters more than just how they look. So that's why if you're going to play as the farmer, who is a silent character, he swings his scythe, but he's really slow, but he's really strong. Like that should feel different than playing as the average Joe survivor who just walks around with a baseball bat and does the exact same kind of attack. But you play as one or the other, and they feel very different. So I mean, the stats are definitely there to make it feel different. Yeah. Playing as all these characters, we have upwards of 20 different characters in the pipeline, and that's not including seeker characters that are going to be thrown into the game.
Oh, nice.
And then you're going to be able to level up your character as you wish. So we're still kind of working out these tweaks, but the way it's looking is it's going to be like a 10 level tier per character. And then, so you have those base stats that you see when you first pick the character, and then every time you level up, you can add some kind of, point to one of the stat categories.
So you actually do get like a in-depth leveling system too, huh?
Yeah, but it's we want to keep it simple. But it's definitely, you can then shape that character based on those base stats into, you want it to be a little faster as the farmer, you just put a little points into your speed, stuff like that.
Yeah. Now, earlier you were talking about you wanted to fit as many zombies as you can on the map.
Yeah.
And how many, so what's the most we're going to see? Like, what's the craziest you're going to see in this game?
We're just trying to max it out pretty much without the lag. Yeah.
So
go ahead.
We're trying to work on whatever system or outsource or console it's going to be on, and once it's on there, we're just going to, like Rafi said, max it out as many as we can get on a screen at a time. We hope to see that many zombies tearing through the streets.
Yeah,
I think we've had at most maybe like 100 at one point.
Oh, wow.
But I think we limited ourselves right now as we're developing to, what was it, 50?
Yeah, 50. Yeah.
Wow. And when you have it up to 50 or above, is it possible to win? Like, is that at the moment where it's just no hope, or do you guys actually have it set up to where you can always make it out if you're good enough?
I think you can
always.
There's definitely like a skill curve, I think, but
yeah,
we definitely want it to be very tense and scary at points. So the herd is like this, very challenging role in the game. So
yeah,
it only happens sometimes, but when it does happen, it's like a big deal and it's very dramatic.
Yeah,
awesome. And the level you design, is there any levels that's maybe like home, like cities you grew up in, or is just like completely from scratch?
So what's in there is from scratch right now, but we definitely want the world. It's going to be expanding after release, for the foreseeable future, as long as we can keep it expanding. And different areas are going to be definitely influenced by, New York City, where we're based out of, and we have Miami kind of designs planned. We have New Orleans designs planned. So we're looking at the map as, some kind of pseudo United States, essentially. So you go north, you're going to hit some snow. You go south, you're going to hit swamps and then beaches. You're going to go hit New York City if you head out east and stuff like that.
Gotcha. Now, you were saying earlier, too, that you changed the name from the herd to Don't Bite Me, Bro.
Yeah.
How was that? What was the decision behind that? Like, how did you come to Don't Bite Me, Bro?
Well, the herd was a much more seriously toned game. It was still kind of blocky, but it had like dark lighting, and it was
pretty gritty.
But it was more gritty, and we kind of decided to go like more on arcade route, something that would make you smile as soon as you read the name. You know what I mean? Yeah. So
and also, the game's kind of evolved from this online. It was originally an online multiplayer thing, and it's evolved almost into this just couch multiplayer, local multiplayer game, and like a party game almost. And it's more fun to say, let's play Don't Bite Me, Bro, than to play, let's play The Herd, which, we like that name, but, it just didn't fit and create the same tone that we wanted it to with the new game that we developed.
Now, you've taken this game on the road before, right?
In New York.
Throughout the city, yeah. Throughout the city.
I see. And how has been the reaction for people?
Positive. Yeah, and between different age groups too. So we actually, Parsons has every semester this event called Playtech, where we the design technology division or major at the school teams up with a group called Mouse, and they it's like an after school program for kids in the city, and they basically do tech related projects with them, and they bring in kids to play test all the games that students have worked on in the school.
Oh, wow.
And we've gotten such great feedback from kids, and it's so satisfying to see these kids crowd around, and their parents have to drag them away from our table. But then at the same time, we go to events like IndieCade East or Playcrafting. We've taken it to twice, and we get older demographics also loving the game and having a great time.
And how was your experience at IndieCade, which is I'm sure as you know it's incredibly popular, and how was that like taking it to IndieCade and then being a part of that?
It was fun.
Yeah, it was pretty fun.
Yeah, we got good feedback. We were kind of shoehorned over into the
in a corner,
section, in a corner. So we didn't have the traffic we would have liked. But the traffic we had was good. It was and the feedback was great.
Was it like one of those moments when you first set your game up? A lot of developers say that they're super excited to set the game up, but then when they get their first people to showing up, they just get tons of dread and anxiety. They're like, oh my God, here it is. We're going to see what people finally think of our game. Was you guys experiencing any of that before when you set up?
I feel like it was all positive.
Go ahead.
Yeah, it was all positive.
Yeah, I don't know. Personally, I don't really get nervous. I like being in crowds. I like when people come up to me and are asking me about projects and stuff. Like that's my zone. That's when I get into it and I start talking. I don't have time to feel dread.
No, that's awesome. That's fantastic. So, and like I said, you guys are doing everything. So you do the own music, right?
Well, right now it's not our own music, but it will feature all original music. Yeah,
all original music. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna have some kind of soundtrack going through the back, and the placeholder music that we have now is, it's kind of like this jazzy kind of electronic music. It's kind of weird. I don't even know how to really describe it, but it creates a kind of a fun tone while you're playing it, and we want to keep it fun, but also kind of dramatic at the same time. Yeah. So we're working out some kind of soundtrack like that.
Yeah.
Now, you guys obviously have probably played this game for hours and hours, right?
Yeah.
What would be, each one of you guys, which would be your favorite characters, you would say, in the game? Each one of you. Which ones you guys you always pick?
All right, Andrew?
So I'm gonna list my 3 favorite characters because they're going in different categories. But my favorite character that's in the game currently is the Jock, who he's one of the unlockable characters because he's this big bulking football player. And he just charges forward into the zombies. And it's a lot of fun. It's real satisfying. But then you get thrown into the zombies and you look up and you're just stuck and it's kind of challenging. But he's a lot of fun to run around as. There's 2 characters that are designed that we didn't put in yet that I love. One of them is the plumber. He walks around with his plunger, like a shotgun. He sticks it to the zombies and then shoots them back out at all the other zombies. He's kind of an out there character. We have a lot of out there characters coming up. And another one is one we actually just designed last week, and it's a secret character. So I'm not going to give too much information about what he does, but his name is the Gravedigger. So looking forward to him. He's going to be a lot of fun to play as.
And I think my favorite character is, it's not in the game right now, but it was in the initial build called the Herd. It's the town drunk, and basically he throws these Molotov cocktails, and he's a very dangerous character because he does a lot of damage in an AoE, but he walks really strangely because he's always inebriated. So it's kind of like this high risk, high reward play style that I enjoy a lot.
That's awesome. I like the town drunk. I like your approach on the movement. That's awesome.
Who's Rafi's favorite character?
Yeah, that's what I was about to ask.
Yeah.
That's Rafi's favorite.
I guess my favorite character right now is the camp counselor because of how her ponytail swings as you're walking. Just from a technical standpoint, I just like it. Yeah.
It looks real nice. It's a nice thing.
And she's silent but still range, which is good.
She's the archer of the group.
Nice. Now, also too, we also got a couple of questions from chat. One of them is, they see it handles well on a controller. He's wondering how does it handle on a keyboard and mouse?
It handles pretty
That's
good.
From
That's pretty good. Yeah.
Most of our testing is done on keyboard, so we are going to try and release on Steam. It will be released eventually on Steam, so we will have it, working just as well on a controller as it does on a keyboard. Yeah. But as of now, it works very nicely. It works good. That's how we do all our play testing.
And since it's so simple buttons, it's pretty much the walking, everything is right there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Sweet.
Space is kind of like your action button.
No, that's great. I mean, because a lot of times, a lot of these new indie games that are coming out, they a lot of times require their controller. Yeah. So a lot of people are always curious about that. Now, another question people have and this is from Caitlin. She was wondering, is there any backstories behind like the character, something we can learn about in the game, or do you have anything set up that way?
So as of now, we don't have too much backstory, but this is something we're always talking about. We want to have some kind of light narrative in there. But like certain characters to us have backstories. Like personally, when I designed the sheriff, she's this woman wearing a brown, state trooper sheriff uniform. I always call her Ricky because Walking Dead. I thought it was funny. But we do want to have different narratives and backstory kind of littered throughout the world. Nothing really told to you explicitly.
Yeah.
Another idea that we're toying with is there's going to be dungeons in the game, such as like a hospital or church that you have to clear out. And those are actually, while we're on it, are going to be a little randomly generated when you go in.
Yeah.
And some dungeons are going to have certain narrative points about the characters as well.
That's awesome. So you guys are like really going to expand on it then. So we're getting dungeons.
Yeah.
Like, is there?
Yeah.
And how's the dungeons are going to work? Are there bosses at the end, or is it just like a really big herd of zombies at the end?
So that would be pretty funny. No, I think it's gonna change depending on the dungeon, right? So we have the church dungeon is just a church, and we say dungeon, but it's not like Legend of Zelda style dungeon. It could just be an interactable building, a building that you can go into, and could be one block big to explore, or it could be multiple. So the church is only going to be one, but it's going to be you have to clear it out maybe. But then you go to a dungeon such as the hospital, and you might have to collect supplies. Some of them are going to have bosses. We have a lot of different zombie types that we're throwing in there. There's only 2 in that video that was shown, but we have, I think, 4 more that are currently being implemented.
Yeah, at least 4.
Yeah, so the dungeons are going to really mix up the way you play the game. And there's going to be prizes at the end. There's going to be maybe some secret characters in the dungeons. There's definitely going to be, a reason to go through there.
Yeah.
And how is this game like? I know a lot of people are probably wondering too. If you want to play by yourself, how is that?
It's hard, but it's fun.
It's hard.
Yeah. Yeah. You just have to think, because the zombies are always dumb. So you could play silently and kind of avoid most of them, or kind of have to funnel them into a narrower passage, and you could kind of knock them out that way. But
it's a lot more strategy when you're playing alone, I think.
You need to be patient and very careful, I think, to survive.
But it is possible though, right?
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
Yes.
We definitely want it to be playable by anyone with any amount of people who wants to play it.
Yeah. And this,
as long as you have enough control.
Go ahead. Oh no, to be correct, this is a couch co-op game, right?
Yeah, that's how we're designing it right now. We
gotcha.
have some really cool plans for some online play modes. That's down the line. We're getting the local down first, but we are going to definitely have online because it started as an online game. So we definitely have that in mind.
All right. So to be clear, you guys definitely have a future in the online networking aspect of it.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely.
Gotcha. Are you guys looking to do like a 4-player online experience or like co-op type stuff?
Like kind of.
Yeah. We're playing with 4 versus 4.
Oh, okay. So against each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Rafi, you want to say how we're thinking about it?
Yeah. So right now we're not delving too much into the multiplayer because we want to get the core game really good before we get there. But what we're thinking about for the multiplayer is have 2 groups, like 2 save zones that share like a town for resources. So you could meet each other at a square, let's say, of the map, a portion of the map, and battle it out while there's the zombies for the same resources.
Oh, wow.
So it's like 3 factions going on. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's
Almost
actually pretty
like
cool. That's kind of a great idea. Like, and I know that's far into the future, but how is that going for you guys? Are you even working on that right now, or you're?
So we're not working on that too much just yet. We have messed around with a lot of the networking stuff, so we do have experience with that in a previous version of the game before it actually became "Don't Bite Me, Bro." It was exclusively online, so we did work with the networking and the online aspects. But really, what that comes down to is it's not too different from the core game, right? So it's the same gameplay from both sides, but now you have more than just the zombies to fight if you interact with them, or if you encounter them, rather.
When I talk to a lot of developers, they say that networking is a really difficult task. Would you agree with that from your guys' perspective?
I think it's time consuming.
Yeah.
Very time consuming.
Rafi's like a mad scientist, though. If anyone can figure it out, it's him.
Yeah.
Now,
Yeah, there's a lot of
go
trial
ahead.
and error. So
Is that just because of lag, or I mean, why is that? Why do developers have had such a hard time with like networking?
just even getting it on to try it out, you have to like connect these things. It's like you have to go through a connection just to try out that a variable works. You know
Yeah,
what I
I
mean?
think I think that's the biggest issue that at least because we're new to this, so I think the biggest issue that we see is like Rafi was just saying the variables. So having the same drops in the same place on three different people's computers and having the same characters for that matter look like
Gotcha.
they're in the same place because it's actually three different iterations of the same character.
Gotcha. Now we got some more questions actually from chat.
Let's hear 'em.
One of them from Raylac is he's wondering, or her is wondering if when doing certain events, let's say for example like the church, where certain characters interact. Like, is there going to be? Are you guys planning to take, like you said, you're going to take more of like a Nintendo backstory approach, where you kind of have to figure it out through little hints? Is there going to be anything like that? That's what he's wondering.
So
You mean like NPCs?
Yeah, like let's say you clear the church, and let's say for someone, for example, like Ricky, is there's some type of backstory there, and she says something at the end of that to indicate that there was some type of story there.
That's
Rafi.
interesting. I
Yeah.
think that's interesting.
Yeah, so
We
we
go-
haven't.
Yeah,
Go for it.
we haven't thought about that, but I think that's a good direction to think about.
One thing, I mean, this definitely applies. One thing we are talking about and we're probably going to try and implement is when you go to, say, a dungeon or if you just unlock a new area. So, say you clear the highway and you get to the city area. We want to have like little cutscenes kind of to show the characters breaking into this area. And those would apply to the dungeons as well. So, maybe when you first enter a dungeon, you get a cutscene. And then when you clear that dungeon, however clearing it might work in that place, you would then get maybe another cutscene to show you, the aftermath.
Okay.
Yeah.
And another question from Caitlin is she's wondering, so this is going to have controller support. She's wondering, is it going to support multiple controllers? Like, in the sense that you can just hook up a controller. Everyone can hook a controller up, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I don't understand the question too much, but yeah, it's just
Okay.
yeah, you just connect your
Well,
controls.
some games sometimes have limitations where one player has to be on the keyboard, one player has to be on a controller. It's not always where everyone can just have four controllers. Sometimes there is limitations.
Yeah.
She was wondering behind that.
Oh well,
yeah,
everybody can have the controllers, but the keyboard would be one player also.
Yeah.
Okay.
Or you could do four players on controllers. That's whenever
Yeah.
we bring it on the road and we show it at shows. We always play it with the controllers.
Outstanding. No, so like I said, the game looks good. And where would you say you guys are at right now? Yeah, I know you guys are still working on it. Where you just say you're right at release, or you're still kind of ways to go?
We're
We're
gunning for it.
Yeah, we're like 2 weeks from feature lock, and then yeah, it's just finishing up after that.
Gotcha. And what would you say has been some of the biggest problems about the game? Was there a certain character that was just underpowered, too overpowered, or a map that was just giving you problems that's kind of like been difficult to handle?
Well, one of the biggest issues is something we touched on about how it used to be much more asymmetrical than it currently is.
Yeah.
And this is more of a game design issue that we came across where the person that was playing this hand that controlled the zombies, it was almost not fun. We liked it, and some people loved it, but for the most part, it created this kind of animosity towards whoever was the hand, and the hand would be upset that they played as the hand because they just want to play with their friends. And I think we fixed that by making, getting rid of the hand so everyone's playing together at all points of the game.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Rafi, any technical hurdles?
A time.
Time. So you would say that, I mean, how is like the character balancing? Like when you're going to balance a character, is there a lot of work behind that, you would say?
Well, there's
A
a lot of
play
play testing.
Yeah. It's a lot of like touch and go, feel it as you're playing it. And just because there aren't too many, stat categories, it's kind of been pretty simple for the most part to balance and make a character feel better or feel worse, if we want it to be a little harder to play as someone. But we always try to have like a yin to a yang. So if we have one character such as Ricky, the sheriff, who has a gun, we have another character, and so she makes noise. So that already makes her a little harder to play as because the zombies will come to her. We have the camp counselor, who is essentially the same character, but is then silenced because she has a bow and arrow. So that's another way that we're balancing, not necessarily nerfing a character, but making another character that kind of goes the other direction with that.
So would you say that you guys actually, the way you're designing it, it almost sounds like picking the right team is the best thing. Like almost like there's like a team comp feel to it.
Not really. I mean,
Like
there's definitely a strategy based on who you're playing.
Well, yeah, you could play it how you go Rambo and just kind of go in and just tear down everybody, or you could play more stealthy and just kind of sneak around the back. Like, yeah, there's always different ways you would play it.
I'd say a good mix is to have some melee characters like the farmer, and then have like some ranged ones. So there's kind of like this tank sniper diversity going on.
Yeah, I think that would
Probably be the best one.
There's definitely some strategy to choosing your team, but we also made it a way so you can't change your character when you're out in the world, but whenever you're at a safe zone, you can change your character as much as you want. You can just go back and forth every 5 minutes, and you can change your character up. So
that's good. So I mean, you kind of gave that freedom to the player then.
Exactly. And I designed all the characters, or most of them. Visually, I designed them, and I just had so much fun doing that. So we want that to be such a big part of the game. Like, all these characters should be fun to play as, and you should be able to experience all of them and not be penalized by changing your character.
Yeah.
Gotcha. We took out some more couple more questions. One of them is they're wondering what is it going to retail for, and this question kind of ties into that. And when you guys do launch it, are you going to be launching on PC and consoles at the same time? How is that going to work?
Okay, so it will be free to play on PSN, and we're trying to release on Steam at the same time.
But
we haven't started the Steam stuff yet.
Yeah, but so it's going to be free to play with paid DLC. So we're going to have a core characters and a core map and core dungeons, and all that is going to be completely playable for free. And then we'll have, maybe some extra characters that are DLC exclusives, or maybe different dungeons that are DLC exclusive as well.
Oh wow! So you guys are looking to like really expand this in the future, then?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Sure. Rafi actually designed the map in a way that we could forever. This map could be expanded, and there's definitely new worlds to always go to.
Oh wow! Now, is there any idea what like the prices like characters would be, or these dungeons or maps would be?
This is something we actually just started discussing last week. So
okay.
We're trying to figure that out now.
Gotcha.
But we're not going to empty your wallets for a little game character. We promise you that. And there's a very good chance you can buy them in packs as well, rather than individually.
I see. So, and obviously, that's one of the big questions. I know Stylomax just brought that up. I take it you guys are going to put a lot of work into like paid characters to ensure that they're not overpowered.
Yeah. Everything's going to be balanced. It's going to be fair. The paid characters might be a little zanier and a little more fun. Just aesthetically.
Mostly,
But everyone, you're not going to need a paid character in order to beat a dungeon or to do good in our game.
It definitely won't be paid to win.
No way.
Yeah.
Gotcha. No, that's good then. So that means you guys are designing the game to ensure people who can't afford certain aesthetics and extra characters don't have an advantage over people who don't. Now, again, some of the dungeons will be sold, correct?
Yeah, most likely.
Gotcha.
But that's what we're going for right now.
Now, is there going to be any dungeons like automatically included into the game for free? Or
yes. 100%.
Yeah, definitely.
Gotcha. That's awesome. And I have another question actually. When I talk to a lot of developers, they say that developing games and getting them to work on the console is very challenging. Did you guys experience that? Like, is it easier to get your game working on a PC than it is like trying to get it designed on a console?
Well, we just got the dev kit, so we're still not at the porting place yet. So probably like in 2 weeks, we're gonna actually start getting it onto the console.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And the game is designed, it's very, very not heavy on your computer, so it's not taxing. It runs real smoothly on most computers. Yeah. Rafi was using a brick up until a couple of weeks ago, and it ran beautifully on his computer. So, and it's also very small space-wise. Exactly. So we hope it'll be able to, we are confident that it'll be able to run and port very smoothly.
I see that there's a question that in chat, and it was actually something I was wondering. Are we going to see a ninja or a samurai in this game?
Actually, yes.
Yes.
We were planning on doing characters for each of us, so one for each developer. And I just so happen to be a black belt in ninjutsu.
Oh
So
wow!
I'm doing a ninja
Congratulations.
character, so I would be that character.
So we will have a ninja.
Yeah. Cages and
I'm an actual ninja. Yeah.
That's that's freaking sweet. Another question I was wondering: are we gonna? And this is probably something I'm just wondering. Are we gonna have a playable zombie, a zombie friend?
Well, when you
So-
turn into a zombie, you are a playable zombie.
Gotcha. So that's kind of like your way to be a zombie.
So this is probably a feature we should have spoken about earlier, I guess. But as I said a couple of times, at any point in the game, we want everyone who's sitting on that couch to be able to play. If you have a controller in your hand, you're doing something. You're not out. You don't die. So if you get killed while you're out in the road, you come back after a short break as a zombie. And like I said, you're still fighting with your teammates, but if you get a little too close to them, like it's almost like gravity pulling you in, pulling your player in. And if you die as a zombie, you just come back as a zombie again. And then there's actually going to be a way to come back to life because you don't want to be a slow zombie for the rest of your life. And that's going to be resource management. There's going to be food and health pickups, and you're going to need those in order to revive your character from zombie to survivor.
Gotcha. And so you're saying that the way you lose this game is everyone dies, correct?
No, there's
Well-
really no losing. So
Oh,
yeah.
no, okay. How about you explain
Whenever-
that a little bit? That
So when
sounds
everyone
interesting.
dies, everyone just becomes a zombie. So you have your safe zones, which is like your lobby or your hub. That's your main point of building and going out into the world. So, but you can't go back into that safe zone unless you're alive. So if 3 of your teammates are alive and you're a zombie, you'll just kind of be stuck on the sides until you go out and get health packs. So when you're all zombies, you kind of have to bring yourself back to life
Gotcha.
by finding health in the world.
And another question from Chad is wondering now, if multiple people are zombies, are they going to look different? He's curious to understand if is there different looking zombies in the game as well.
So the player zombies are just zombie versions of the players. So when you become a zombie, you will look like your player. It's not like, oh, I'm just a zombie now. No, you are the sheriff, but you are now a zombie.
So you can be a ninja zombie.
You will
Yeah.
be a ninja zombie. But then the zombies themselves, the enemy zombies, they're kind of color coded, so you can kind of tell what you're facing while you're
Yeah.
out in the world. So they have different outfits and stuff like that. But there's like the basic green ones, which your everyday zombies, and there's red ones, which are the feral zombies, and they just run really fast. Then we have the yellow zombies. They're the abominations. They the big hulking zombies, and they're slower but much stronger than the rest of them. And then we have a couple of other ones that we'll kind of keep hitting for now, but they're mostly color is the biggest difference. Just so at a quick glance, you can tell what enemies you're facing.
Yeah.
That's kind of funny. The ninja zombie thing sounds like it's going to be a lot of fun. Now, you said you guys are in school. Is this
Yeah.
something that you guys are like? How is that like being at school and working on a big project like this? Like how is your school community treating it? Are you having them test play it? Or are you guys just like, I'm doing my own thing? This is our our final thing, like kind of like your final project. Is that kind of how you're looking at it, or are they excited like you guys?
Well,
We
this
definitely
was
have-
our final last semester. Like,
Yeah,
that's how
but
it
we
started.
definitely have our own classwork to do now. Yeah,
There's a lot of sleepless
Well,
nights.
yeah, a lot of sleepless.
No, but everyone in our program and some of the program directors, they know that we're working on this and we're trying to show it. And we've from them too, we've gotten great feedback and support, and we're always having them play test it as well as our friends.
That's awesome. And how I take it you guys have your family members playing. I always talk to developers about their family members, and they seem to be very supportive. I'm sure you guys as family, everybody's been really supportive of you guys.
Yeah,
Yeah, definitely. My brother's been trying to play this game. He hasn't played it yet because he's been away in Wisconsin. He comes back in a few weeks, and I'm definitely gonna make him play it a lot.
How many hours would you guys say you've played on this game?
A
I think
lot.
it's hard to say what's playing and then what's building it,
Yeah.
So whatever it is, it's a lot. So
Can, can you guys play it though? Like my question is like as a developer and you're trying to have fun, do you ever just like in the mind, hey, let's play Don't Bite Me, and you get in there, you're like, I gotta fix this real quick. Does that happen a lot to you guys?
That happens.
Yeah, it does.
And I
Almost every
definitely get
time.
this. I also definitely get distracted sometimes. Just like I was testing something, and then I just get distracted, just killing zombies. And, yeah, like going by.
Yeah, it's actually we were at a show last week, and we were, you know, there were people coming over, and we were playing, and we always try to play with people when they're playing at that show, so we can just, you know, and we have fun with it too. I have so much fun playing it. But I was playing. It was me, Rafi, and two other guys who were testing it out. And Rafi goes to me like, "Oh, I just noticed something." And I was like, "What?" He's like, "I can't tell you. You're not going to be able to unsee it." And then afterwards, I was like, "What did you notice? Like, what was this?" He was like, "There was a car floating in the sky." And I was like, "Oh my God, you must have been losing your mind. You wanted to fix that."
Yeah.
Did you fix that?
Yeah, definitely.
And another thing that's usually interesting is when you're watching people play your game for the first time, they end up doing something that you never anticipated on, whether it be like an amazing strategy. You're like, oh, wow, I can't believe I didn't think of that. Or they exploit something because you're like, oh, I didn't think of that. Have you guys ever seen anything like that when you were first watching people play?
Not really.
Yeah, I actually did. Yeah.
I noticed.
Like, for example, like there's this piece of this highway that has this huge herd on it.
Funnel.
And like, yeah, then there was like this guy that funneled them into like a little spot, and from behind the car just safely like
He just like
took them all out.
Yeah, it's actually every time they go to the highway, someone finds that exploit.
Yeah,
that's a strategy, right?
So that's going to be in the game then.
Yeah, we'll probably tweak it.
It'll be different.
But that area is in the game now, and it's definitely exploitable.
What is the character everyone immediately goes to? Like, what character is getting picked the most when you watch people play?
I feel like it's pretty even.
I haven't seen that. Yeah,
It's pretty even.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people like the
gun. Yeah, it's something like very like visceral, powerful about it. So
about the sheriff.
Yeah, the sheriff. Also, she's pretty cool anyway. So.
Yeah, she's fun. Yeah, I feel like people really like the cam counselor with the bow and arrow too.
Yeah. I
definitely see people gravitating towards it, but it's definitely pretty balanced.
I feel like it's even. Like it's pretty even. Like I haven't noticed any more one or over the other.
People like the drunk a lot when he was in there.
Which one?
The drunk, the town drunk.
The drunk, yeah, that one sounds pretty awesome, actually.
Actually, the only reason we took him out is because we have to balance him a little bit more because he was so much fun that he was just destroying everybody. So we're gonna make him a little less fun, but he'll still be great to play as.
Can you be the same character? Or does everyone have to be different?
Nope.
Yeah.
You could be the same guy.
Oh wow.
Yeah. It'll just be a different skin, like a different color.
Yeah. Oh, that's cool.
We're gonna have different outfits or whatever for multiple people playing as the same character.
Oh, okay. So they're actually going to look different.
Yeah.
Yeah, slightly visual. Like we kind of liken it to Super Smash Brothers when you get a different outfit, a different color going on your Yoshi.
Man, so you guys are really focusing on a couch co-op team environment, huh?
Yeah. We love it. We keep saying it, camaraderie. That's what we want this game to feel like. You know, if you can go out and be a lone survivor, absolutely, and you'll have fun doing it. But what we appreciate from this game is watching people play it together and like friends just like, oh, hey, look, you killed those zombies. Like, let's go get them. Like, oh, save me.
It's like the zombie apocalypse, and it's like your friends together kind of taking this world on.
It's actually really interesting because like I get that vibe from you three that you guys are really good friends, and I almost feel like that kind of reflects in this video game.
Hey, listen.
Go ahead.
Keiji's a ninja. If there's a zombie apocalypse, I'm getting right behind him.
That's awesome. Another question from chat, Caitlin again, is wondering, is there going to be any climbing or like walking up steps and ramps, both from the players or the zombies?
Yeah, there's ramps. I don't think it's in the video, but there's a swamp area, for example, that has different levels. So on the walkway, you can walk, but then if you go into the water, then it's all slow and muddy almost. Right. And then you can only go up through certain ramps.
Gotcha. So no it becomes climbing traps. On cars or?
No,
there's no
parkour.
No
parkour. This isn't Dying Light, unfortunately. But,
gotcha.
There will be different layers within the level, but not necessarily, climbing and jumping and stuff like that.
And that's another question that's just in there is, so I take it you walk into a level and so like you said, you can't die. So so there's really no need for like checkpoints or anything like that, correct? Like stuff like that?
No. Go for it.
If everybody dies, it moves back to the save zone. Everybody just
Gotcha. Kind of goes back at it.
yeah, but everything that you found out in the world, you lose.
Gotcha. Oh, okay.
So when you're a zombie, if you become a zombie, you can't collect any resources. So there's definitely some penalty to dying.
Gotcha.
More than just coming back as a zombie.
Yeah.
That's not penalty enough.
And I got another question. I was actually wondering this a little bit earlier. Now, when you were getting into this, were you guys specifically designing this to be a free-to-play game? Like, or is that something that kind of evolved into wanting to do? Like, my question is, going this route usually encourages more DLC and more characters. Is that maybe the reason why you chose that?
Well, I mean, we love the characters. I love the characters anyway. So that's definitely the obvious way to take that DLC. I feel like as soon as we started talking about actually releasing this and making it more than just a school project, I don't think money was really on our mind at all. I mean, money's always on the mind, but not as to release this.
Right.
Yeah. I feel like it.
What?
Sorry, I feel like it was always kind of with the intention of having it in as much hands as possible.
Mm-hmm. Especially because we are still students. Where we just teamed up and we're trying to make games. So
absolutely.
Right now we're just trying to get our name out there, and if free game just to let people have fun and hear about us, like I'm all for it.
How many characters would you guys say you've designed? Like how many? I'm sure you guys got sketchbooks, and how many would you say you've got that you just want to fit in?
Sure, at least 30.
Nice.
I've definitely designed 30 characters. I don't know how many we are going to have in the game at release or ever.
Some are really out
there.
Some are really out there.
It almost sounds like so how much does this take up during your school day when you're at school? Are you guys out sketching for the game?
No, not really. I mean, we have our own projects like Rafi was saying. So when we're in school, for the most part, when we get to class, we probably have 10, 15 minutes where the three of us are just talking oh, look at all the stuff we changed. Look at this stuff I do. And then we get into our schoolwork, and then we get back to not schoolwork and start working on Don't Bite Me Bro some more. This is our free time, essentially.
Yeah.
Right. No, the game looks good. I'm excited that you guys are looking into the multiplayer aspect, and I just want to be clear for the viewers. I've seen the question popped up again. Will the multiplayer be ready for release, or is this a patch down the road?
No, multiplayer is definitely down the road.
Down the road.
Okay.
Yeah. We want to release with a nice core game first.
Gotcha.
Then,
yeah. Okay,
instead of kind of half-assing both of them. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, and we look at games that are popular right now, and we were actually just talking about this in our Skype before this, where we were meeting. And that couch multiplayer it's big right now. People love it. We were just looking at games like Gang Beasts. I don't know if you've heard of it, but Gang Beasts is blowing up right now, and it's so much fun, and it's just a local multiplayer game. So we definitely want to kind of create that environment and then shift our focus to multiplayer.
Gotcha. And another question from chat from Stalomax. Yes, as a player zombie, are there visual indicators that you are now a zombie, or can you try and be a sneaky bastard to kill infect your friends? Like, can you play the opposite way around it, not help?
Well, you could definitely be a troll. You could be a troll.
You definitely can.
Yeah, it's obvious that you're a zombie because you turn a green shade almost.
And your UI,
yeah.
so
and you get a purple health bar instead of the green.
Yeah.
So that you're a zombie.
Can your friends kill you?
Yeah. There's friendly fire while you're a zombie.
No,
but you'll just keep coming back though.
Yeah,
you don't stay down.
Gotcha. So you can be the troll if you want to.
Absolutely. Yeah. In fact, I sometimes hope there's that one troll every time we play test it. And there usually is.
Yeah.
That's a good question. I'm just now thinking about that. Is it obvious when you turn into a zombie that you're meant to help, or do players immediately start like, oh, I'm a zombie now, let's attack?
I feel like it's gone both ways. I don't know.
It lends to both. Like if you want to keep helping, you could keep helping, but if you want to just go in and attack your friends, you can also do that. Yeah.
You very obvious. Like you came back as a zombie, but we don't give you any indication of what you're supposed to do now. So as far as you're just a zombie and still trying to do the same thing. So if you're a zombie and you go to attack another zombie, you'll be able to. But if you also want to eat your players' brains, like you'll be able to.
Yeah, that's a good way to test your friendships. Yeah.
That's awesome. And then back real quick to something you said earlier. You said that the dungeons will be randomly generated.
Yeah.
And now is that because you want something different every time? I take it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Just
we want them.
since the world is all kind of already placed, it might get a little old. So to keep it fresh, we want these dungeons to kind of constantly be different.
Gotcha. And is that like the rooms will be different, or what you do in the rooms will be different, or both?
Both.
Yeah,
Oh, wow.
It's probably going to be mostly the rooms, though it depends on the dungeon, really, because different dungeons are going to have different goals. But yeah, it'll go both ways.
And any idea to how many dungeons will be in the core game, like the free part of it?
We're still working that out
Yeah.
right now. As of now, we have plans for, I think, 4, but we want way more than that.
Oh,
So
okay.
we definitely have. There will be a fair number of dungeons in the free-to-play game.
Gotcha. And another question would be, how soon can we expect like the first like paid DLC to hit after the game launches?
Maybe
Yeah,
a month
that's-
after.
Yeah, we're still discussing that, but we
Yeah.
don't want it to be that long a wait.
Yeah.
Because
Gotcha.
the characters are there; they're almost ready to go.
Yeah.
So, like, as soon as we can get that up there, we will.
Gotcha. And another question: is there going to be any type of bonuses? Like, you guys going to have like early access, pre-order bonuses, or anything like that for the game?
Probably not, because there's probably not going to be many pre-order bonuses, just because we're releasing it for free.
Yeah.
But we are going to be doing promotions, like for anyone who play tests with us at any of our shows. So, like, for example, this past week we were at Playcrafting in New York City, and anyone who signed up for a mailing list while they were there is going to get one of the, just not a paid DLC, but a special character that they can get for there. So we're going to try and do different promotions like that going forward, where if you play test here, or if you sign up maybe at a certain event, they will make it worth your time to get emails from us, stuff like that.
Oh, that's awesome. Any idea, any word on what that character might be that you're releasing?
No, we're still designing them as well.
Gotcha.
It's gonna be
Gotcha.
it's gonna be a surprise, but it'll be fun.
It,
Well, that's
it,
cool.
it definitely won't break the game either. It would mostly.
It'll be
Is-
even. It'll be.
Are you guys going to have any special characters? Like when you guys go online where we'd be like, oh, that's one of the developers.
That's actually not a bad idea. We haven't discussed that. Maybe we are only playable by ourselves, but then there'll have to be another
'Cause-
ninja because everyone wants to play as the ninja.
Yeah.
Right. Well, guys, the game looks fantastic.
Thank you.
It looks really interesting. I'm a person who's I would say I'm tired of zombie games, but this game here looks really interesting, and I think it's more about the gameplay. I like your teamwork approach to it. It makes it fun. I think it's awesome. And I think it just goes to show you that just because people use a space like zombies doesn't mean that it can't be fun, new, and interesting. And I think you definitely proved that with this game. It looks really fun. I'm excited for it. I like your approach on the dungeons. That's really got me intrigued. I think it's awesome that you have a randomly generated dungeon too. That's awesome. I'm gonna say great job.
Thank you.
And is there anything that you want to tell the viewers, or perhaps people who are watching this for the first time, that they can't find, like something to look forward to, or maybe something you really want to get out there you haven't been able to?
Can we talk about platform that we're going to release on? Because I don't think we've actually said anywhere where we're going to be releasing.
Okay.
Rafi, if you want to.
Yeah.
Take
Well,
it.
we did say PSN.
PSN.
I guess you
Yeah.
maybe mentioned it.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're
So
gonna we're gonna be on
PlayStation.
PSN and we're gonna be on Steam, and we are looking into Xbox as well.
Gotcha. So definitely PSN and Steam.
Definitely. Yeah.
Definitely.
Mac and PC.
Mac. Oh,
Yeah.
Mac and PC.
Yeah.
Yes,
And released at the same time.
that's the goal.
That's the goal. Yeah.
Gotcha.
But
Oh,
we
and
haven't
also-
started the
Right.
Steam talks yet.
Yeah, we've also
We're just set
discussed.
for PlayStation.
Yeah, we've also discussed release on Vita as well.
Oh, and
But-
Vita release.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we've discussed the potential for that.
The
But that would
potential.
be more of a multiplayer release. So
So you guys
We'll figure
looked
it out.
into stuff like indie box and stuff like that, like maybe a hard copy release or.
No, we haven't.
Yeah.
But you know,
Okay.
something to
That'd
look
be kinda
into.
interesting. Maybe something
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah.
I would love a hard copy.
I think it'd be
Yeah.
kind of cool to see you guys have a little hard copy with your little. I like the. I know people see Minecraft out of it, but I kind of like the approach you guys went with it. I don't know, makes it fun and makes it fun. But guys, it's been a blast. I want to say thank you for joining us today.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Oh, absolutely. And hopefully we can talk to you guys again once you get your game up and running, and hopefully we see you soon.
Yeah, we look forward to it.
Yeah, likewise.
Again, guys, wonderful job, and we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Thanks, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.